was wondering, how often do you come up with a great design or animation concept and you really like it, but then you find out that due to computer specs or requirements that it doesn't really fit and you have to go back or tune it? Because I don't really hear you talking about designs you love, but then you couldn't really get to work it.
That's a great question, actually. Paul, you want to take that?
Sure. It's one of those things that comes up I would say a lot, but there's a lot of stuff that that we'd like to do at times. But you come to find out, like if we add that many bones to a character, it's going to cost so much more, and now you can only have half as many guys on the screen. Or even when it comes down to things like even textures and stuff, like bumping down the texture specs so that, again, it really serves gameplay. So it's something it's always in the back of our minds, but we also don't let it trip us up. If there's something that we're really, really excited about, we're going to push it through anyways. And like in the case of the Wicker Man you saw, that evolved into zombie dogs, and ultimately I think they ended up cooler. So
there's a lot of iteration that goes into everything we do. So really, there's a lot of, we're not afraid to throw things out if we feel it doesn't actually make for a better game. So it's a big deal for us too.
This question's for the exterior team. Yeah. I have a question about the world of Sanctuary. I've seen a map that you guys have on the main website, and I'm curious how much of that is actually going to be seen?
I would love to answer that question. Honestly, I can't. That would be something like one of our designers would probably be best to answer.
Yeah, the thing though is that obviously D3 is set in the Diablo universe, so a lot of the locations you're playing, you can probably see little hints of it here or there. We definitely want to make sure that fans of the series, as we are going to get their money's worth. We want people to feel like, wow, I've seen this universe before, I've walked through it, and sort of get that idea. How much of that we're doing, we can't really give away yet, so.
I can't say that anything we do, we're going to make it as awesome looking as we possibly can, so rest assured, it's coming.
So this is a question for the dungeon team. Diablo 1, the art for the dungeons is very dark, gritty, and atmospheric. Are you going to be leading that kind of direction for the dungeons from Diablo 3, or is it going to be more the same from Diablo 2?
We really look at D2, we take a lot of inspiration from D2. All the things that it did right, we want to make sure we do right. We're trying to build on that, and making sure that mood and atmosphere is there is very important to us. So that's definitely a goal for us, is to stay true to the Diablo universe.
Hi, I was just wondering if you could elaborate a little on how you integrate the character art, the monster art, maybe the environment, external stuff, how that all comes together.
Do you want to take that, Paul?
Sure. I think the biggest thing is just getting the working back and forth with everybody. We have everybody on the team is incredibly talented, has a lot of say in how things are going to fit together. So usually it comes down, again, the ideas come from anywhere, but ultimately design has to make a decision on this is what we want to see. They'll come to both exteriors or dungeons and the character team and say, here are the areas we're thinking of actually showing. These are the characters that we'd like to see. And so literally it's just us working back and forth, making sure that everybody's aware of what's going on. Just kind of move ahead with that stuff. A lot of how it works together, like to really make it pop and make sure stuff feels fleshed together, comes with things like lighting. I think that's one of the biggest things in terms of integrating that stuff together, and just making sure we don't go over the top with how we paint our textures. We want to keep that painterly feel that the environment guys have as well. I don't know if any of the environment guys have any more to say.
we're not like off in a vacuum. Like we talk all the time, so you want to make sure that I think for the dungeons as well. I mean, any characters or effects or anything like that. You want to make sure that all that stuff kind of gels together in a cohesive way. You don't want a water elemental in molten core. You know what I mean. So it just kind of comes down to communication. Everybody works together. Nobody's in a vacuum. I think that one question involves everybody on the panel and about 30 people out in the audience.
So you haven't talked yet about item art, and so my question was, one of the things that disappointed me about Diablo 1 and 2 was you get a unique item and it had great art on the inventory screen, but it didn't make your character look any different. So my question is, does every unique item have its own art, and will it affect your character on screen so you can tell I'm wielding the super axe of awesomeness or something?
First of all, and it's a good thing you brought that up because I don't think we got a chance to mention Mike Nicholson, he's our UI guy and just a badass artist in his own right. And he puts together all those weapon icons. I can't say for sure if everything is going to match up 100%. Honestly, that's kind of up to design and what they want. But I will say there's a lot more effort going into actually making sure that stuff matches up. Before we came out and did this, we had the entire character team for a couple days trying to make sure all the weapons that we put together were matched up, and Mike had all the weapon renders he needed to go ahead and make the icons. So we're trying our best to be a little more accurate with that.
And also a big deal for us, obviously, is that the inventory system had a little bit of an overhaul, because we really want to make sure that the weapons feel right when you put them in your inventory or you equip one of your characters. There's obviously a lot of the games about the loot you get, so definitely on our radar. We want to make sure that feels right.